What's up everyone, my name is Alex Horstman and today I'm going to talk to you about keyword research. I'm going to explain what it is, why it's important, and then I'm actually, towards the end of the video, going to take you through practical examples on my laptop showing you how to find your competitors that are ranking well in Google, and then how to take their keywords and implement that into your blog or your content marketing strategy. All right, cool. So what is keyword research? So if we read from Ahrefs, which I think is one of the most reputable sites and softwares around keyword research on the internet, they say here that keyword research is the process of understanding the language your target customers use when searching for products, services, and content. It then involves analyzing, comparing, and prioritizing the best keyword opportunities for your website. Now, if we kind of dumb that down or just use simpler language, it's basically knowing what people Google whenever they're searching for your product or whenever they're searching for, some type of information. So an example of this would be, if I am looking for a new pair of running shoes, okay? I'm either probably going to Google running shoes, best running shoes, what type of running shoes should I get? Maybe there's a deviation there, like red running shoes or blue running shoes. Maybe there's a certain type. But the keyword research part is just basically figuring out what is it that people are searching, and then what to put on your website and how to optimize your website. Because if you don't know what it is, and this is why keyword research is so important, if you don't know what they're searching, you will never ever be found. Okay, I have worked with brands before where they've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on content. There are these amazing articles, 3,000, 4,000 word articles, thought-provoking, and they can get a ton of links, but they're not targeting any keywords. So they don't rank for anything. So again, it's what's the point of that content in my mind? Yes, there's something to be said about it being used to build links, but that's down the line. We're not going to talk about that here. What we're solely focusing on is just finding those words that your audience uses and then plugging them basically into your site and optimizing your site around that so that you can get the audience that you want to your site, not random people. For instance, another example I think that's really good is if I had let's say a website that sells surfwear, I could write an article about, let's say, the problem with plastic in the ocean. And while that may be tangentially related, but it's not really, people looking up what is the problem with plastic in our oceans. They might not necessarily be interested in buying surf gear. So what I'm going to do is basically try and find keywords such as best surfboard for shortboarders, best surfboard for longboarders, whatever that is, try and figure out what your audience is searching, and that's what this entire process is. I think the best way to explain this is honestly just to show you an example. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to take it to my computer, Google some stuff, open up a spreadsheet, and show you exactly how to go about this. So again, you can figure out what the keywords your audience is looking for, and then also your competitors and how you can mimic them and kind of get started on either a blog creation process. And if you're an e-commerce site or a SaaS site and you're curious about that keyword research, drop a comment below and let me know. I can make a video about that. But for right now, this is solely talking about content that you should create, whether that's articles, list posts, roundup reviews, whatever it is. This is looking for those. Okay, cool. So now going to my computer, what I want to show you is how to actually record and find your competitors. So first and foremost, what I'm going to do is just create a spreadsheet called keyword research and competitors. Now I'll leave a link to this below in the description so that you can just copy this over and you don't have to do any of this manual work. But the way this is set up is you basically have two tabs here. You have the keyword ideas, which is where you're going to list all the keywords that you will potentially target. We'll get to this later. Right now, we're going to focus on the competitors tab. Now, the way this is set up is basically you can plug in a competitor's URL in the column A, and then in column B, it's just going to be the root URL. And then you're going to want to plug in the domain rating, the traffic, and then these are just links to Ahrefs. So before I go any farther, I use Ahrefs. This is what I use for keyword research. It's what I would suggest anybody uses. I know there's people that like SEM Rushmore, but from my personal experience, Ahrefs is the most reliable, and you can pair it with what you're seeing in Google Search Console as well. Once you start ranking for some of these keywords. But just remember that Ahrefs, like even they admit that they're a third-party metric. They're trying to give you as much valuable data as they can, but no software is perfect. So with that disclaimer being said, what we're going to do initially is find the competitors and plug them into the spreadsheet so we can refer back to it. And then that way we can come up with content ideas for, right now, in the future, a year from now, and always have that list of competitors that we can compare ourselves to. So what I'm going to do to start out is take a brand here called Noserider Surf. It is actually my girlfriend's website, and she's, starting to sell, as you can see, surfwear. And this is something where we're just going to do keyword research for it and find her competitors and, record all of it. So first and foremost, I'm going to plug it into Ahrefs. Now, as you can see inside the Site Explorer, whenever we plug it into here, there's very little information because it's a new store. And even organic search, only potentially, again, 3 organic traffic, so not much going on here. So what I'm going to do is just start Googling keywords that I think she would want to rank for. And I'm going to look at who's ranking for them and then, kind of reverse engineer. So let's see here. So cropped rash guard. I know that is a keyword that she wants to target. But this is more so like an e-commerce keyword. So actually what I'm going to do is put like for surfing. I like putting these best modifiers because if you put best in there, that's typically when you get like the affiliate sites, and they're really, really good at content marketing. So I like to gather all of them. So dive in, I'm just gonna open these up in new tabs. Now I'm just gonna go through these and see, who's actually really related to surfing. Dive in, diving. So this is more so best rash guards for surfing, and this is Surf Hungry. So actually, I think this is probably a really good competitor, and as you can see, they have a ton of content on their website. So this would be somebody to go ahead and throw into that. I want to actually throw dive in here because when I'm looking at their categories, I don't see them actually talking about surfing, so I don't think they're a good fit. So actually, this query is kind of weird. I feel like there's not a lot of good people writing stuff, which is good because that potentially means that she could write an article and rank really quickly. Again, like this video, I'm looking just for blog content, and I don't know if they actually have a blog. Yeah, nothing that I see. So I would definitely have like another tab. If I was an e-commerce website, I'd have another tab and basically have it set up to where it's like content competitors and e-commerce competitors, because you're going to want to know the keywords to make for your collection pages. But anyway, that's community. Okay, CB's blog. Finally, I found it. So, all right. I kind of Googled this. This actually really wasn't that good of a keyword to Google. But let's just go ahead. Surf Hungry is a good site that I think is really similar. So let's plug them into Ahrefs and see. So Surf Hungry, first and foremost, I am 100% going to copy them and put them in here. And now what's super nice about this is basically what this allows is whenever I click on that, it takes me straight to the overview tab in Ahrefs. So I can now plug in the DR, 28 and 18,400. And this will give me, this takes me straight to the organic keywords tab, and then the top pages, this takes me straight to the top pages tab. Super useful. Oh wow, that actually got hit pretty hard in an update. But anyway, we're at least on a good start. We have Surf Hungry. We know at least one content competitor, and they get a decent amount of traffic. Even though they did get hit pretty hard, it at least gets us on the right foot. And the main thing is finding that first competitor. So now if we go into the organic search, right here inside of this tab, what you'll see on the right hand side, and this is why I love, again, Ahrefs so much, is top 10 competitors. And we can probably find people that we can add to our list through here. So beginner surf gear. So paddling mag is more so like kayaking. So I would not throw that in there. Yeah, so what's actually really good here and what I'm going to do is, as you can see, everything within their blog is nested. If you look in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen right now, you'll see that it's all nested underneath the URL blog, /blog/. So what you can do is actually copy this URL, take it back to Ahrefs. And again, the reason we're doing this is because we're only looking for content for the blog. We're not actually looking for any of these category pages. So what we're going to do is paste this in here and just do the prefix. So that it's basically Ahrefs is searching now for everything within the blog URL structure. It's not looking at the rest of the website, just anything nested underneath here, which as we saw, it's all of the pieces of content or the content marketing that they're doing. So this is perfect. And they get a good amount of traffic, 20,400, and they've been doing really well. Looks like they've been climbing. So I would actually throw this URL, how to escape a rip current. Like, that's a great keyword. I already know how to do air surfing, was the biggest surfing competitions. Like, there's some really good stuff in here. So let me go back to the spreadsheet, drop them in there. Cool, so I think that's a good one. Surf researcher, this sounds like somebody who's perfect. Best. See, I'm telling you, these, like, if you can find these affiliate sites, they're really good at keyword research and you should copy what they're doing. So yeah, this is perfect. I'm actually going to throw this person into Ahrefs and see how they are doing. I always throw them into Ahrefs first. And as you can see, like, I always take a look at this right-hand side. You'll start seeing some of the same websites, like there's Surf Hungry again, there's Beginner Surf Gear, but you start seeing kind of some of the same websites, but it's like it's a rabbit hole that you can go down for hours. I'm not going to spend a ton of time doing this. I'll probably do 2 more or 3 more websites just so you have a good understanding, but I would just keep redoing this process. And you probably know your niche. Like, I don't know surfing that well. That's why, like, I Googled best rash guard, right? And again, it's like, there's better keywords. If we come in here and see what they're ranking for in the top 5 position, biggest wave ever surfed, that's probably a way better keyword. Kelly Slater Surf Ranch, yeah, Wave Storm, that I know that's a type of surfboard. So there's, like, don't just do what I did in this video necessarily. Like, Google around more. Ahrefs is going to be the easiest way to find your competitors, but if you can't pay for Ahrefs right now, just Google what you think your audience would be interested in. If it's a surf shop, like, people are probably interested in learning how to surf competitions, tips to become a better surfer, surfing pros, like if there's any of them, and just start seeing who's writing about that content and then put them all into this spreadsheet. Again, I'll put a link in the description so you don't have to remake this, but it'll make it super easy for you to be able to refer back to it and create new content. So I'll just add 2 more here, and I'm actually going to cheat. There's one website that I know is really good called surf.com. And if we come in here and plug it in, we can see, yeah, so cool. DR of 35, organic traffic, 68,200. So I'm 100%. And obviously, if you go to the website, you always want to go to the website, make sure that it actually is talking about your niche. This is a really good brand. It doesn't have like a super high domain rating, but it's just a solid brand. If you can find a solid website like this, I am going to crawl their keywords and write everything that they've probably written about. So that's what I do. So again, Cool. So that is, obviously you want to do this until you have like 20, 50 competitors. Like the more the merrier. I'm stopping here because I just don't want this video to be super long showing you how to Google. But again, go to this organic traffic tab. Once you find a good competitor who's a solid website, you see that they're writing a lot of content, plug them into something like Ahrefs. You can do it with SEMrush as well. And then look in the organic search section, and on the right-hand side in Ahrefs, you'll see the top 10 competitors. And then open these up, see what content they're writing about, put them into the spreadsheet. Right now, all we are focused on doing is getting competitors and putting them into the spreadsheet. We're not actually looking at the keywords that they're ranking for. Yes, we want to make sure that they have a lot of traffic and that they're a good website. But for right now, all we are doing is just, basically doing a brain dump. What I do here is like copy paste, just so we have this information in the future. So now what we're going to want to do is, and as I promised, now that you have a list of your competitors, like I said, I'm going to find you 50 to 100 article topics. And once you do this, the article topics is so easy and quickly. Again, if you have access to Ahrefs, even if you don't have access to Ahrefs, you can just Google, look at the names of these articles. So I'm just going to go surfed, okay? I can just see instantly some good articles that we could write about. And what I like doing as well is looking in their nav bar, because typically in their nav bar, it's going to show you the most valuable content that they want to rank for. So as I see here, Surface Heat 4.3, the best wetsuit you've never heard of. That might be a good single product review. 13 essential products for surfers in 2022. Without even having to do a lot of keyword research or having access to Ahrefs, I can kind of look, I'm going to look at the title tag. So essential products for surfers in 2022. Look at their URL structure, essential products for surfers, essential products for surfers. I'm going to take a wild guess here and say that this URL is trying to target the word or the keyword essential products for surfers. Now, if I plug this into Ahrefs, let's see if I am right. Again, keywords, surf essentials. Yeah, okay. Well, okay, to be fair, this is, as we can see, this is I'm pretty sure a pretty new blog or new article. So it's not really ranking for anything yet. But, if you can look at those similarities, you can basically figure out the article topic without having to do too much keyword research. If you find your competitors, just look for the same words that they're using within the title tag, within the, the H1. This is the heading 1, the H1, and you'll start to basically be able to tell what they're targeting. So another thing here is what we can do. Let's see. Best gifts for surfers. Okay. So this is another example. Best gifts for surfers in 2022. Let's look at the title tag. Best gifts for surfers in 2022. So I basically know right now that I'm going to take a wild guess and say best gifts for surfers is going to be a good keyword. Okay. And again, let's just see if I'm right this time. TR35. Yeah, okay, boom, there we go. This single URL is getting approximately 1,500 people. This single page is getting 1,500 people a month to it, okay? So if we go and look at organic keywords, now this is what I always like to do. I sort by volume, position 1 through 5, because I want to see what they're ranking for in the top 5, and gifts for surfers, boom. That is my keyword right there. It's got 1,300 and a position of 1. So I am going to do that, 1,300. And what I'm going to do is dive in here a little bit deeper into this keyword. Now let's see how the keyword difficulty is. Just so you know what this looks like is these columns is the keyword, obviously, monthly search volume, the clicks per search, and the potential traffic. And we just, again, this is really going to be a brain dump. So 5, that's pretty easy. And let's do 1,300, 5, and clicks per search are 1.40. E5, and the potential traffic is 1,500. So I just walk you through each of these metrics. So if you rank number 1 for the term gifts for surfers, you can potentially get 1,500 people to your website or to that single page a month. Okay, monthly search volume is just, 1,300 people search this a month, and I'm just looking at, US here. If you actually look at global, that's 2,600. So actually, depending on where you're at in the world, pay attention to this on the right-hand side. Surfing is huge in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, not just in the United States. It's also big in, Indonesia. So it would be wise to factor in the global volume here on the right-hand side. So actually, then your potential traffic would be more so like 2,600, and you could do something here like global traffic. Do that. So actually that keyword looks a lot more valuable now. So 2,600. That's how you can go about if you don't have access to Ahrefs, right? Go to a website or affiliate site that you know in your niche that's doing well, and just look at a lot of their articles and see what keywords you can pick up that they're targeting. Again, the number one thing to do here is check the title tag, the H1, and if you go look at the source code, you can do a Command F and do description, sorry. And you can see, again, also gift ideas for surfers, best gifts for surfers. So in the meta description, they're probably going to put the keyword as well. So this is a free way to do this. So what's so nice about this spreadsheet is the fact that since we have all this data collected in here, we can easily click into the overview tab and the keywords tab and the top pages tab into Ahrefs. And this makes the initial research and the keyword research of our competitors super kind of quick, because I can just be like, cool, surf.com. I wonder what keywords they rank for. I see that they get a ton of traffic, 68,000 people. That's a good amount. I feel like especially in the surf niche, that's probably very solid. That's a good amount of traffic. Let's see what pages of theirs are ranking. What can I mimic? What can I create? What can I make better, right? So whenever I open this up, I just see their top pages. Okay, here's the URLs on the left-hand side. Here's how much traffic they're getting each month. And then here's the top keyword that they're ranking for. Now, something that I think is worth noting here is that the top keyword is not necessarily always the keyword that you want to be targeting. We can go into this later and, whenever we talk about search intent in a later video. But for right now, it's just like a good kind of starting ground for you. So what I'm going to do is just copy all this stuff into a spreadsheet inside the same spreadsheet. And I've done some of them here, but just, open up the keyword if you need to. And what I grab is the keyword itself, the monthly search volume, the keyword difficulty. So this one is super hard. I would not recommend this in the beginning. The clicks per search, which is 1.02, and then the traffic potential, which is 24,000 for this. But then if we look at global, it's 81,000. So 24 and 81. And so I would do, and just repeat this process over and over. It can be quicker if you just come in here and hit export and actually upload the CSV into here and then format it. I'm not going to show you how to do that in this video. It's pretty straightforward, to be honest with you. The main purpose of this is just to show you cool, I now have all my competitors recorded, and I now know that what I need to do is basically reverse engineer them. I want to see what they're ranking for. And, there's a group I'm a part of called Traffic Think Tank, and I think they called it the milkshake method. So if you've ever seen There Will Be Blood, there's that famous scene.
If you have a milkshake, and I have a milkshake, and I have a straw, there it is. That's a straw. Watch it. My straw reaches across the room and starts to drink your milkshake. I drink your milkshake.
Basically, this is kind of like the milkshake method. If my competitor is ranking for a keyword, then I'm going to use Ahrefs. I'm going to find out what keywords they're ranking for, and then I'm going to rank for it because I'm going to create a better article. I'm going to create, an article with more information, more content, like better images, better, just all around better, right? Maybe I do a video, but this is kind of like the milkshake method that Traffic Think Tank says, which I think is a brilliant name for it. That's how you do it. I'm not going to go too much more into detail. If you guys want me to, just leave a comment and then I'll read every comment. But I hope that now that you're at the end of the video, you have, you can go create a list of your competitors and then go grab those keywords from your competitors and put them inside this spreadsheet and actually start writing content based off the keywords and articles that your competitors are ranking for. Again, I'll leave a link to this Google Doc so that you can make a copy of it on your own. And thanks so much for watching.